Hi, my name is Elle. I'm a cross-stitch artist and designer here on TikTok, and Charlotte says, what's your Etsy? Well, I do have an Etsy shop. Because of the way Etsy does things, it's actually not the best way to support me as an artist. Because they charge listing fees, it means that I cannot list all of the things that I have available because I would literally be losing money trying to keep all of the listings active. So instead, the best way to support me personally is going to be through my Patreon. There are ways to support me without being a monthly subscriber. Patreon rolled out their new shop feature about 6 months or so ago. And that has been amazing because they let me post as many products as I want without charging me listing fees. So over on Etsy, I have a dozen, maybe 24 patterns that I have posted, and it's really just my most popular ones. But over on my Patreon shop, I have 247 patterns, and that number goes up every single month as I add brand new patterns to my shop. So it works just the same as Etsy. It's the same price for you as it is on Etsy. But I don't have to be paying for a ridiculous amount of listing fees to keep everything active. There is one caveat that I will say with the Patreon shop. If you are using the iPhone or Apple app for Patreon to access my shop, Apple charges you like an extra fee to purchase patterns from my shop. I do not see a dime of that. So just so you all are aware, all but one of my patterns are $5 each. The only one that's $10 is because I collaborated with another artist. So we each take a cut of that $10 fee that I charge for that particular pattern. All of the rest of them are $5. But if you use the Apple Patreon app to access my shop, it will say that all of my patterns cost $7.50. That's right, they charge you an extra 50%. And I don't see a dime of that. That goes straight to Apple. So if you are going to shop from me via my Patreon, I want to say thank you. But I also want to say use a desktop or use an Android device because Apple is ripping people off left, right, and center. And they don't let me have access to those funds for 90 days after somebody makes a purchase through the Apple version of the app. So it screws you, it screws me. It's not a good time for anybody. Please use a different version of the app or just go directly to the web browser version of that. With that said, you can find links to both my Patreon shop and my Etsy shop through the link in my bio. You know how all of it works. Typically I say the reason you would want to go to my Etsy shop instead of to my Patreon shop is if you're looking to purchase a kit. I cannot sell kits through the Patreon. That has to be through the Etsy shop. So that would be the one reason that I would say, hey, go to the Etsy shop versus the Patreon shop. If you're just looking for patterns, the Patreon shop is where you want to be. That's where I have all of them listed that I have currently released. Anyway, I hope that helps. Thank you so much and happy stitching.